Hello everyone, welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Michael and I'm bitten by a radioactive book. I am really bad when it comes to finishing series that I started, so I want to talk about a few of the series I try to finish next year. I have about, I think, 50 or 60 series that I actually started, or at least, read the first book in, and I want to talk about 12, one for each month, that I'd like to finish next year. First off, we have the Raven Shadow series by Anthony Ryan. I read the first book, Blood Song, last year and I really liked it. It was a 5-star read, one of my favorite books of the year. And the remaining two books, Tower Lord and Queen of Fire, are out. And yeah, I need to get to them. Another book I already read last year was The Thousand Names by Django Wexler, the first in his Shadow Campaign series. I think the series is supposed to have like 5 books, and 2 of them are already out, and the third one, or the fourth in the series, comes out next year, so I'd like to read these 3 books of this flintlock fantasy. Once again, another of my favorite books last year was The Strange Affair of Spring Heel Jack, a steampunk novel by Mark Hodder, and the first in his Burton and Swinburne series. And this series has, I think, 6 books out already. The second book is at the moment on my TBR for December, and I really like to get to the next 4 books then next year. A series I've just discovered, and I'm currently reading the last book. I think I'm like 5% before the end, is the Sword of Shadows series by J.V. Jones. As I said, I'm reading the first book at the moment, enjoying it a lot. It's supposed to have like 6 books, 4 of them are out. It is rumored, because there was no book since 2010, that J.V. Jones might just like dropped off the world and just discontinued the series. So I'm not sure if that is going to be finished, but I heard that the first 4 books are well worth reading, so I want to read the remaining 3 next year. Another series that gets a lot of buzz lately is the SF space opera The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. 5 books are out. It's going to be a TV show on Sci-Fi. I think the pilot is already in the net, so you can watch it, and it was a series that started really strong for me. The first 2 books I really enjoyed. The last 2 books were more like, not that much my thing. But there is a 5th book out, and I need to get to it, and maybe the 6th book comes out next year as well, so these would be 2 potential reads for me. Next up, we have The Craft sequence by Max Gladstone. That is really fresh air in the fantasy genre, because it is, you can't really put it down what it actually is. It is urban fantasy, but it is set in a secondary world, and that secondary world has a lot of fantasy elements, so it's not like a modern contemporary setting, but it has some modern elements. So they have some things like cars, and the technological level is maybe around early 20th century. So yeah, it's a really interesting setting, really different from everything I've read so far. Very interesting magic system, and I have read, as I said, the first book, and there is the 5th book is coming out next year, and I'd really like to read the whole series. Another series where a book is on my December TBR is the Moontied Quartet, careful, by David Hare. I've read the first book so far, Mage's Blood, and the second one, The Scarlet Tides, is on my TBR. It's a quartet, there are 4 books out already, so I really like to finish the series next year. Another series I highly recommend is Echoes of Empire by Mark T. Barnes. It's a complex series with a lot of politics in it, with a very epic feeling. I've read the first book, Gardens of Stones, and it's a trilogy. It's already finished, and I want to read the 2nd and 3rd installment as well. Probably my favorite space opera so far was Revelation Space by Alistair Reynolds, and he has a lot of books that play in the same kind of universe, but at least there's Chasm City, which is a standalone, which can be read in between the Revelation Space trilogy, and there's the 2 other remaining books in the Revelation Space trilogy, and at least these 3 books are books I'd like to get to next year. And once again, we have a series where one of the books is on my TBR for December, and I've already started it. It's Changeless by Gail Carriger, the second book in her Parasol Protectorate series. There are 5 books in that original series, and there are 2 spin-off series as well at the moment, but at least I want to finish like the original 5-book series next year. Next up we have The Demon Cycle by Peter V. Brett. This is very classical fantasy. I've read the first 2 books so far. I think it's planned to be a 5-book series, and books 3 and 4 are out. And I think we can be hopeful that the 5th book will be out next year, so I probably want to finish the whole series then. And the last series would be The Grim Company by Luke Scull. That is a series where I've read the first book quite recently and really enjoyed it. It's grimdark fantasy, reminds me a lot of Joe Abercrombie, and the second book, The Sword of the North, is out, and I think the 3rd book is scheduled for next year, so I hope to finish the series. I don't know if it's actually a trilogy or if there will be more books, but at least I want to read the books that are out by the end of next year. So, sweet and short, these are 12 series I plan to read on next year or to finish. What are series that you're planning to read? Please tell me in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of me surprise to my channel, yeah, be a nice surprise and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I hope you get bitten by a really good book too. Bye!